Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of MajinLegends. Today we're gonna bring you a game where I play for the first time Tristana. I took this occasion because she is right now a free giveaway. If you like League of Legends on Facebook and have a League of Legends account, you automatically get Tristana as a hero and her Riot Girl's skin. So as you can see, there's me, there's the Glacial Bird and Crassus here, and we're gonna try and go for a kill really early on. The game has just started, I apologize for not recording to the beginning, and we're gonna try and get the kill, but sadly the Summoner Spell Flash does help the Mad Chemist get away. There we go. So we can get the kill, so now the game will pretty much commence as normal. Let's talk first about Tristana's 4 skills. First of all, we have the basic skills Q, W, and E. E is a skill that doesn't necessarily is meant for damage, it's meant for denying heals. That's what it does. Once it casts, it has an active ability. Hit a hero with it, and if he's using a health potion, his healing is reduced. Secondly, it also does a little bit of damage, quite insignificant, but its main thing is a passive ability. Every time Tristana gets a kill via creep or even heroes, the body of its target explodes and does a small area of AoE damage, and you're gonna see that when I actually gonna get a kill to a creep that is near other creeps. You're gonna see that they're gonna get hit. Let's see, the W spell is Tristana's jump ability. So she jumps around, she actually jumps to a fixed position inside her range, and upon landing she deals a certain amount of damage and slows the heroes in that little bit of area that she lands upon, if heroes are near her. And Q, well, Q is the skill that I'm not gonna focus really too much on, and it is basically makes Tristana hit faster, increases her attack speed. Her passive increases her range. Now it's 0, but it increases her range based on levels. There we go. I'm gonna use E right now on this guy and gonna jump in there and gonna shoot again, and Space Marauder did get the kill right there with the bird. I also have an ignite on me, but I'm not really worried. Gonna pop a health potion and just not care. But we did manage to get the first blood, which is very nice indeed for us. And sadly we're gonna try and get a Mumu, but again the spell flash saving him. Okay, what else should we talk about? Because again, let's talk about this game. This is one of those games that, well, is what I call the good games. It is a game where no real team, let's say in my opinion, takes a huge advantage, but everybody really plays solid. Just plays solid, and it's just something that you don't expect. It's funny because I actually tried to record another game with Tristana, and we ended up losing really fast. It was basically because a level 30 summoner joined a game with his friend, with a friend who was probably lower level, and as you can clearly realize, with all the tier 3 glyphs and the masteries on full, it was just incredibly hard to defeat that kind of hero. Sometimes you can defeat them, sometimes you can defeat them quite easily. I've won games against level 30 summoners, which is satisfying to say the least, but at the end of the day, the advantage they have over lower levels, such as myself, I'm level 18, and the advantage they have over somebody like me is just annoying. And I consider that these people, well, they can't win in their own league, so they come down to the lower leagues to try and win here, and when they actually fail, it's hilarious. But this game is not anything of the sorts. This game is just basically a solid game where everything goes good. There's nothing really bad to say about this game. Nobody really gets a high score. Well, then just everything goes smoothly, both for our teams and sometimes their team. As you can see on middle, Crassus is actually getting ganked because there was no miss on the ground, but he will manage to get away. Again, no replay function, I can't watch the battle. Also to be noted, I am playing a little bit with a handicap because I was talking on my phone, texting a little bit, Yes, something important. I wouldn't have joined the game if I felt that I wouldn't be able to play. It was something important that came up during the play. So yeah, we're just basically trying to harass here. I'm trying to do as much damage as possible, especially because my range is slowly increasing and I'm slowly doing a lot of damage. Now, Tristana, when it comes to her items, I am confused because in this game I will completely ignore the recommended item builds. What will I go for? I will go for ability power hits because ability power does increase all my skills, well, except the last one. A little bit of spell vamp and a little bit of critical strike. Basically, I'm going to try to split myself between ability power that makes my spells hit stronger, the W, E, and R one. Oh yes, I didn't talk about ultimate. I'm gonna get that into in a moment, and a little bit of critical strike and attack speed and movement speed. Now, and sadly, I become a jack of all trades. My spells hit decent and I hit decent, but nothing really overpowered, nothing really, really strong. Some Tristanas end up getting a lot of crit chance and a lot of attack speed, and they just shoot, and you're dead in like 3 shots because they crit, and voila. Meanwhile, we have, I wanted to see what exactly got pinged in the middle. As you saw, Annie was really low health, and Krathus probably does want to gank, but we have enough problems on our own. And anyway, let's talk about the ultimate of Tristana, because the ultimate of Tristana is a fairly interesting spell. It's basically a direct damage. That's fairly simple enough to get a big cannonball shot out of her big gun that does direct damage, which is easy to understand. However, this big huge cannonball gives a knockback, a huge knockback. You might think, okay, how does that work exactly? How does that make the spell so interesting? It does a damage, or you can use it to, I don't know, knock your enemies back. Yes, you can use it to save your opponents, or think about this. You can use your jump skill to jump in front of an enemy hero, and then use your ultimate to not only deal damage to him, and as you can see, Krathus sadly died in the middle because he did a little bit of overextended in the attempt to kill Annie. So, as I was saying, and he actually used his ultimate, but ulti fail. Annie's quite alive and quite well. Meanwhile, as I said, you can jump in front of an enemy. Well, that is if he actually gets inside your range. It's very complicated. Usually people actually, in this game, you'll see them fairly well stand right outside the game, right outside your own range. There we go. I actually popped a heal to save my little glacial bird here, and yeah. Anyway, can I actually finish my story now, please, Space Marauder? Yes, and I'm gonna get a tower shot in the face. I was just getting a little bit greedy, trying to slow down his heal, and again failing. And now I actually get the slow heal. Anyway, I'm almost gonna come in here. I'm not level 6. Oh no, yes, I am level 6, but I'm not gonna use my ultimate yet. Anyway, as I was saying, you jump in front of him if you can, and then use your ultimate to knock your opponent. Not only backwards, but possibly to your allies, and to deal significant amount of damage. Really, that thing really hits hard, especially with ability power. End game, I'm gonna have something like 700 damage or even more, and combined with a little bit of jumping and healing reduction, I do a lot of damage. So now I'm being left alone because the birdie went to heal. Sadly, I've forgotten her name. As I said, some heroes I just plainly forget. And we have Pantheon dropping in. I'm gonna see this. Gonna use my Ghost Walk. Yes, use my Ghost Walk to try and get in there. Gonna use my ultimate. Yes, use my ultimate, and I got the kill. I sadly will not be able to save Pantheon. I jump out of the way and almost die to the tower. And I'm now probably gonna go to the base. I don't know. I probably did steal. Yes, I probably did steal, if I have to say something. I probably did steal the kill from Pantheon there, and Panth, my good old friend, I gotta say I'm sorry, but I was afraid that the tower would probably kill him, and then, he would have tower died for nothing. I couldn't actually do anything to save him either. Anyway, meanwhile, I'm gonna get the little bit of boots, as you can see, with attack speed and a passive that gives me a little bit of attack speed. Meanwhile, what's the next item I go to? I'm wondering, and I'm going to go for... I'm still, wondering. I don't know if I should go for the recommended items. It's always a good thing to know that the recommended items are probably not the best. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So I decided to go for Hextech Gunblade. Now Hextech Gunblade, as you can see, gives me damage, ability power, and a little bit of life steal, and a little bit of spell vamp. Spell vamp basically heals you when you cast your spells. I'm not a spell spammer, but it'll do. It'll do. Meanwhile, I try to hand up here. I actually remember this part. This is actually a very fun part where we try to get the Mad Chemist, and I'm running in here as fast as I can, but the bird actually stops to do a little bit of creeping, and here we go, a nice jump in there. Will he get away? I'm trying to jump in slow, but here comes a Mumu. The bird retreats because of this stun. Now I'm gonna knock back a Mumu and run like hell. As you can see, I'm very, very low health. These guys are still chasing me. I can't turn around. They may be melee, but they have skills, especially the Chemist. The Chemist has a little bit of an AoE poison, and it's not a lot, but it's enough. It's enough. And now I popped in a healing potion and gonna try and run to the mill. I call for Krathus's ulti to try and kill the Chemist, but that's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, he's not really paying attention to the fact that we were up there and we were fighting, and he gets ganked. We should have warned him. I told him to ulti, it was anybody's fault. And here comes the ulti from Krathus, and Annie gets a little bit of heal because of it. I haven't played with Annie at all so far. I have no idea what she does, except for, the hits that actually hit me. She summons a bear, she has a big hit of and a stun. I believe that she has some kind of thing where she has a spell shield where she gets healed up. It is my belief. Don't take my word for it. I haven't played Annie at all. Meanwhile, back in the base, I'm gonna buy another little bitty health potion and gonna run back to the middle. The bird is meanwhile on the way up, so she will very nicely defend any kind of push up, and Krasus has returned middle, so there's no real point for me to jump in there right now. So I am gonna do something little sneaky. What should I do? Well, here we go. We head behind the bush, gonna go in the tall grass. I'm gonna try and sneak up on Annie. Because of my knockback ultimate, I'm fairly confident and I can knock her back to Krasus. So now I'm saying to bait, but Annie's gonna do a good job of doing that on her own. I'm gonna run in there. I run in with the Ghost Walk and gonna use my ultimate right there to kick her out and gonna slow her up, and Krathus actually manages to get the kill. I could have probably used my Q, I probably could have done a little bit better on myself, but we did get the kill. So now, gonna shoot a little bit of creeps, and I'm gonna head up. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, as you saw, Pantheon got a kill on Fiddlesticks, which is good. Not allowing Fiddlesticks to become really strong is always a good idea. Fiddlesticks can become one of the most annoying heroes to combat. Strangely enough, he's not gonna be the main problem in this game, and we have a Mumu gonna jump in there. I'm gonna come in and gonna scare a Mumu off. He doesn't know that I don't have an ulti. Well, he should if he would have good team communication or some such, but not the case. But he doesn't know, so he fairly enough retreats. I probably could have, if I had the ulti, I probably could have knocked him inside the tower. As you saw, Amumu tried to shoot me from the grass. He missed. A little bit of dodge there goes a long way, and gonna get a little bit more kills, get him a little bit more creep farming. Meanwhile, Krathus, as you saw, took down a tower on the middle. Shooting more creeps. That skill is from the birdie, which will go back now. Space Marauder is going back. He has a large AoE thing where he freezes a lot of things. Meanwhile, I'm just idling around here, gonna shoot. As you saw, there we go, as that was the perfect example of the passive of the E. When you kill a creep, it explodes and does a little bit of AoE. Meanwhile, all the creeps gonna target me, which is not good. I'm not a tank, and gonna get a little bit more AoE in there, but the tower deals a lot of damage. Now, here's something. As you can see, there's no miss on middle. There's Annie, and there's Fiddlesticks. So Annie's clearly heading up now. This is something that I noticed now. During the game I didn't notice. As I said, I was probably texting at this moment again. I called the Mist 2 up, but in truth of fact they are actually coming to gank me. And we'll see how I manage, if I manage to stay alive, because let's face it, it's Annie, it's the Mad Chemist, oh, and it's Amumu, the emo mummy. And here comes Annie, gonna jump out of the way and use my heal and run, and there we go. They fail completely to catch me. Meanwhile, I am a little bit afraid that they actually might tower dive after me. As you can see, my jump is still on a bit of cooldown. Now I retreat back to the tower because there are a lot of creeps for me. Meanwhile, I try to warn, as you see, I'm trying to warn the glass bird not to come up that route because she might up end running right into them. She doesn't listen, but luckily for her, both the Mumu and the Mad Chemist have all retreated and she can come and reinforce me quite easily. If those guys would have actually decided to go mid, they would have just ended up ganking her completely. Meanwhile, as you can see, man, I've used that phrase, as you can see, a lot in this game. I should really try to focus or even write these things down. Write a commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to League of Legends. As you can see, so we're gonna come in here. Amumu's gonna try and get me. I'm gonna use my ultimate to knock him back. Gotta run back myself, use Ghost Walk, and here comes Blitzcrank. Will he pull somebody? He actually fails the pull, but here comes Krathus, so I'm gonna run in there as well. Gonna try and get Annie, gonna get a little bit of heal denial on Annie, and that's it. Annie is dead. Meanwhile, somebody used the heal. I believe it was Blitzcrank right there, so basically I'm gonna get a little bit of more HP here. Pantheon is ready now. Watch Pantheon. There's Fiddlesticks. He doesn't see Fiddlesticks, and Fiddlesticks just hit Pantheon and took down his shield. Meanwhile, I consider that despite the fact that I've used a health potion and I still have a heal on me, not a good idea to stand here, so I am going to retreat. Let's see what's gonna happen during the middle. Krathus is gonna actually run in there. I'm trying to describe the fight via what I see on the minimap, and he's gonna die. He's actually not doing that well. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get the Hextech Revolver, first part of the Guinso Gunblade. And the Hextech Revolver gives me a little bit of ability power and some spell vamp. I'm gonna start running back towards the kill. So let's watch a little bit of fight while they fight. A nice pull from Blitzcrank, ulti by Blitzcrank, and kill on the Mad Chemist. And he's gonna come in there, and as you can see, just plowing through Blitz. Sadly, Blitz did not. His shield was probably on cooldown, and he didn't manage to get out in time. The Ice Bird is still there. Pantheon, I believe, did manage to get back. Sadly, we did lose 2 players in that exchange and only managed to get, I believe, 2. So still fair exchange. My team is ahead on kills, clearly. You can see in the corner, 13-5. But you can't really blame their team for playing, I don't know, badly at the moment. Everything is perfectly fine. There's nobody really feeding. Everything is just okay. Their worst player right now, in my opinion, is Fiddlesticks. So gonna shoot in and gonna take down Annie's little bit of teddy bear, that gigantic overgrown piece of cotton that does a lot of damage and was really annoying. And gonna fall back with the bird. Meanwhile, on the middle, Krathus is running away from Fiddlesticks and the Mad Chemist. However, Pantheon is there and Blitzcrank is there. We can't necessarily warn them or help them because we have a little bit of fighting with Annie on ourselves now. Meanwhile, Annie has run off, and I warn them. See, this is, I warn them and ping the map. Care mid, and look at Krathus. Krathus just ran in there. Krathus is our best and worst player. It is, admittedly, he is our best and worst player. He gets the most kills on an entire team, but does the baddest mistakes ever. Meanwhile, gonna run in here, gonna try and shake off the Mad Chemist from good old Pantheon, and I'm not actually gonna need to use my jump here, so I'm just gonna help out with the defensive abilities and gonna see that Pantheon is retreating, and the bird sadly eats a little bit of skill from Severe. Severe can become a really powerful hero, and sadly, and good for us, we don't allow any of their carry heroes to become really powerful, such as Fiddlesticks and Severe. They don't really end up becoming too strong for us to handle, which is really the best thing on our team. As I said, I'm just hassling Krathus a little bit. Why the hell did he just run into them when I said, "Hey, care mid, somebody's coming this way"? He was low health, in no chance to fight. So now, in no position to keep to last in that kind of fight, and he died. Meanwhile, as you can see, I am generating a little bit of money. 1,000 gold right now is really nice indeed for me. And I'm just farming creeps. Blitzcrank is here, Pantheon is here. I'm not worried. I'm pretty confident in our abilities to handle anything that comes, or at least retreat to the tower. And I am actually gonna head down to help Krathus. Or, oh yes, this is again one of Krathus's big mistakes, and probably the last, really. But here we go. We have myself, Pantheon, and Blitzcrank starting to attack the tower. And we're just, I'm running away because the dragon is annoying, and oh, we have 2 tanks here. Let's gonna attack me now. Meanwhile, Krasus is gonna run into 5 teammates. That's right, 5 teammates. He's not gonna run into 1 opponent, not 2 opponents, not even 3 opponents. No, he's going for the full-on 5, and he died almost instantly. Why? To protect the tower. So we don't get a kill on the dragon because we lost Krathus, and he actually manages to die to save the tower. In my tower that will eventually die as well. I don't know, it's debatable on the importance of the tower. Meanwhile, I go back and I look at the bit of the fighting, and I decide not to go back, using my ghost walk. Gonna run in there, gonna hit a Mumu, not gonna get the kill, but Krathus using his ulti does get the kill on a Mumu, thanks to a little bit of extra damage from yours truly, which does give me another assist and a little bit of extra gold. Thank you very much. So I wanted to go back, but hey, I decided that my team was in trouble. Sadly, I didn't notice in time, and I probably could have, saved Pantheon, but didn't happen. So now I'm gonna actually go and retreat and try finally to buy some items, maybe even finish the gunblade. And am I going to finish the gunblade? I don't know. I do have a lot of gold. Nope, not enough to finish the gunblade, but I will get the bilge water thing that does give me a little bit of lifesteal from every single hit. And the Hextech Gunblade still requires 600 gold when I have 241, so not so much until that thing is ready. Meanwhile, the tower on the upper lane has fallen as well, thanks to Krathus. And oh yes, I forgot about this mistake. It's been a long game, but see, the bird is falling back. I'm heading up. Pantheon is gonna follow soon. The bird sees Fiddlesticks, and Krasus is still there, and gets ganked, and gonna die soon. Oh no, he doesn't die. This is where I actually do a little bit of mistake of running back and forth. But watch this, Krathus is running away from his team, which is really bad indeed. Now I'm gonna run in there and gonna try and save Pantheon. Using the ulti wasn't the best ulti because I actually brought her close to Pantheon. However, doing a little bit of damage to Annie, Pantheon manages to get the kill. Pantheon manages to get away. Meanwhile, as you can see, popping in their Q, and Hupong kill. I wanted to say Blitzcrank and the bird managed to do a lot of damage on the middle before Severe and Mad Chemist managed to get here. They managed to get a kill as well, and I managed to get a kill on Annie. So as I said, run to your team, not away. This is something that you need to focus on. Map attention. I had a heal. If I would have actually managed to get the Krathus, I would have been able to save him. But running away from your team, not necessarily the best of tactics. But hey, we did manage to win the upper hand. He's saying that the reason for his mistakes is the fact that it's late. It's not really that late. It was just 11 o'clock at night. I've played games at 3 AM in the morning, and I've seen players with better concentration than he does. But hey, he does better at the end of the game, so let's not harass him about that. But these are just, basic mistakes that you don't need to. And I'm gonna run in here. I don't know, do I manage to save Blitzcrank? and I passed the heal. I think I managed to get the heal on Blitzcrank. Gonna actually help him get the kill on a Mumu. And this is another bit. Watch Blitzcrank is slowly running away. Watch. Krathus and Pantheon again just moving into 3 heroes for no real reason. Why? Meanwhile, Blitzcrank getting another kill on Fiddlesticks. Now I'm ready to. There's a surrender of a fail, because apparently they decided this not to. And we're gonna have the Mad Chemist blink in. They're gonna try and get Blitzcrank, but we're just gonna nuke him. And just a little bit too slow, and I believe I get the kill. However, more heroes coming in there, and Blitzcrank dies. I did get the kill on the Mad Chemist, but we lost Blitzcrank in that encounter and Pantheon. So I decided that with my health I should just at least fall back and do a little bit of damage to the creeps, to the neutral spawns, and gonna head back to the base. As you see, I have more than enough money to finish the Quinso Gunblade. This is not the best build for